Hi. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm SomeoneNamedDean. I hope you're having a fantastic day or afternoon or evening. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. Had a bit of a busy day at work today. Kind of acclimating to the new position I applied for. I think this is my second week of doing it. It's been good. A bit busy. Busier than usual. Probably will get busier, but I think I'm doing all right. Haven't had any complaints yet anyways. It's been a while since I've done management stuff, so it's a bit tricky. And I'm sure as I get more comfortable with the position, it'll become more familiar to me and it'll become easier, but we'll see what happens. And yeah. Kentucky Route Zero. Let's play it. Why not? It's been about maybe a week for me. Is it gonna boot up? There we go. Yeah. Been about a week. Busy week. Yeah, but I think that's just my new standard. Oh, and WEVP. That stands for Weaver, doesn't it? I'm starting to realize that's associated with her character after the last couple episodes kind of revealed mysterious radio broadcastings. And here I thought it was the name of a video game company or something like that. Right. It says 5 minutes ago. I was just making sure everything was running properly. Sometimes if I switch between games, OBS doesn't like to detect it. The last episode, I did a bit of a bit episode where I did my 100% more subscribers than last time special. And I was playing some TF2. And boy, that was nostalgic. But anyways, let's hop into this. So I think last time we had an episode where it was Kate and Ezra going mushroom hunting. And now we're having a bit of a side chapter with Conway and Shannon. Oh, let's get rid of this filter here. There we go. So, yeah, I'm still doing the voice mod thing. I've been having a little bit of a crisis of faith in myself, I guess, in terms of doing this. Well, it's just editing the videos and reviewing them. I guess the unfortunate thing about being so busy is that I just don't have time, so it's easier to do things in batches. So as I was rendering the videos to upload onto YouTube, I'm realizing, oh man, voice mod is just... I mean, I love it, and I think it's fun to do wacky voices. I feel like it has personality and entertainment value, but shaking my head, it's just some of these episodes are just awful, like the one with the Doolittle voice, or even sometimes Junebug's voice glitches out. It's a shame. But I guess on that note, I've tried a couple random revisions, just tinkering, because looking it up hasn't helped me too much. I guess it's just something with my computer or setup. But I'll have to see how this one sounds. So let's begin, and hopefully it's better than it has been before. That's the hope anyways.
It's... Gotta make sure it's loaded. Okay, there we go. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but I thought you'd like a chance to meet Bashel. He's the guy who worked at the TV station, WEVP. So, they'll pass through the Bat Sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for, cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or, excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the Bat Sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the Bat Sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really... sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. Hopefully the game isn't too loud. There we go. I just turned it down just a notch. What are we even looking at here? Things floating in the water. Huh. I wonder if this will be... You know what? Maybe this might be it. I'm just gonna do one quick thing here. So if anyone had seen my Team Fortress 2 episode, or my subscriber special that I did recently where I played TF2 and got nostalgic because I have 100% more subscribers than last time, I briefly discussed having a special title card. Ooh, sounds. And let's do this, and then, yeah, there we go. Oh, shucks, I forgot the title number. Oh well, this could just be a basis. Okay. Now, I wonder if YouTube will detect that. Hopefully. That way I don't have to, you know, take a screenshot and figure out, you know, make a custom one. Oh. Sorry. My headset just turned up all the way up. Gosh, it scared me. Okay, I think we're okay. Goodness. All right, let's continue. Oh, sign. Oh, these are helmets. I have a feeling this is going to tie into Shannon's backstory about how her family, or her mom and dad, died in a flood because of mines.
We claim these helmets in the name of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find. And so we guess the water buried them for us, so let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a... my swearing button's not working. Shucks. From that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen.
Right. Quote unquote. Discount Arthur Morgan voice. Here we go.
Hey, Elkhorn. That's the mine we met in, where your folks, worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I'm sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry?
And then we have a choice. And let's hope our voice mod voices are better this time around.
Sure. Angry. Mainly just hurt.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own way, I guess. This probably stirs up. I mean, how do you...
The other miners made this, but it should have been the power company. It's their fault.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. A memorial should be a kind of apology. Sorry we didn't do better by you.
My voice will never be consistent with him. And in fact, I feel like in a way he's almost become initially the main character to like, I don't know. I mean, he is a main character. It's just, oh gosh, these dudes. Oh boy. Just waving. Hello. Oh. Yeah, I feel like Conway's a little bit different now that, well, all the characters feel a little bit different as of this chapter. This one is really getting to me in a good way. I'm becoming quite invested in this game. Whereas it felt like before you were only getting a glimpse of them, now you're kind of seeing more of them. And what we're experiencing right now is, well, a reminder of Shannon's tragic history where her parents died because of a greedy corporation, and tidbits about Conway here where he was an alcoholic. It didn't seem like, at least as far as I can tell, any of our choices really impacted it. Just kind of allowed you to glean different aspects of his life, whether he was drinking or fighting his addiction. And, well, in order to fix that stupid computer for that stupid guy, no offense to Donald and his Xanadu, it just seemed like quite the price to pay. He's becoming embedded. He owes a hard time distillery money who we just drove past on the boat. Those dudes, the skeleton dudes, which is also why his leg and arm is all messed up. And yeah, to commemorate something that happened, he took a shot and now he's just kind of going downhill from there. And it sucks to see him going that way. It's, I don't know. It's like if you've ever known anyone who's struggled with addiction, it's always hard to see, especially if you care about them, you know? I shall continue.
What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
And I guess what I was getting at is now my perception of him is different than before, so now I extra don't know how to do a voice for him, because now he feels like a different character.
Just... sometimes I forget I don't even really know you that well.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation. Just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know? Get all together on a plan. Consolidate it.
Hey, if we can find her, maybe Weaver could get you out of this thing with the distillery? She has some experience with them.
Oh, sure. Could be. Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out.
Yeah, it's just I feel like this is the most we've ever been exposed to him, and it's just maybe we're with Shannon here. Maybe we're starting to realize we don't actually know him, but we seem to get tidbits of it, and I hope everything works out for all the characters in this story.
Even his delivery?
Yeah, we're almost there, right? Hell, at this point I bet we could just take off the parking brake and that truck would roll into 5 Dogwood Drive by itself. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira, Lysette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Lys got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have the truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did. Or maybe his ghost could hold it over for me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed for him. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it.
Sure. I could keep an eye on it for you. Until you get straightened out.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good.
You know, if you've been watching me play through this game, I appreciate it. I know I think this whole Let's Play channel thing I've been doing has been initially better in my head than I thought it has been, but going over all the footage and the backlog, I realize, maybe none of it's good. Maybe I shouldn't even be doing any of it. I don't know. But I think just self-doubt is it's just a part of life sometimes. But you know what? I have to be terrible at things in order to get better at it, right? And then as long as I recognize the issues I have and keep working to get better, I think things will work out. Yeah, I just hope the voices are a bit better on this episode. There's only one way to find out, and I just wish I knew how to fix it and do better. But I'm too far in this game now to go back and edit old videos and all that. It's just, I don't think it'll happen. I think I hear static. It might be those distillery guys. Also, I don't like how Conway just seems like he's throwing in the towel. It kind of makes me nervous. Oh, it's them again. They're just hanging out, chilling. Eerie. We should hide from them, I don't know.
Visitors to the Echo River American Gray Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white noise syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you've visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome.
I think I said white noise because I was hearing white noise from the distillery guys there.
Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The American gray bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat.
I mean, I have heard that animals such as bats and raccoons, you gotta watch out because of things like rabies or other diseases. I mean, they're cute as heck. And I think there's also a thing to be said about like rabies where animals that are normally nocturnal, if you start seeing them in the day, that might be problematic. It means something's off with them. And yeah, these distillery guys.
Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high-frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it is crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug.
Sometimes it's hard to know with people, too.
Oh, yeah. Like, how about this weather? I guess there are layers to it, right? Sometimes you just need to get the other person talking so you can check their body language or hear what their voice sounds like. Find out if they're friendly or angry or drunk.
Hello again. We just drove past through them. Visual glitch. Chances are because I ramble and talk, it just slows down animations. They were probably supposed to pull up behind us to represent they were watching us. That might be why we clipped through them. Oh, wait. I want to read it. Well, I guess it's just one way to skip if you don't want to read it. Whoops. Oh well, less bat facts for us. Oh, we can actually aim the light around. Cool. Gotta turn off the light maybe so they leave us alone. Weird trees. Yep, that's our friends. Following us. It's because they know Conway owes them money. Oh, you can even aim back a bit. That's cool. Oh man, this game. That is cool. I like that immersive detail. Like, oh, who's behind there? I'm just gonna turn off the light for a second. I don't know if that's wise, but it feels like the bats are swarming. Shucks. I don't think we have much of a choice. Power lines. I think the device Shannon had was called a degosser or something like that. I wonder if she still has that. It'd probably really help with these guys tailing us.
White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growths which appear on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly, and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the American gray bats be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River American Graybat Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers.
Yeah, it's just eerie how they follow us. Cool though. Yeah, I'm wondering how this game will turn out. I'm wondering how it's gonna end. How will it end? But, you know, regardless of my voice mod shenanigans and just uncertainty of whether I'm gonna continue doing Let's Plays after I finish this, if I can even call myself a Let's Player, I'm having fun playing this game. It's been a beautiful experience, a mysterious one, magical. In some ways, the characters all feel lost, and they're just trying to find their way in the world. Is that someone over there? Oh, this is... What are we looking at? This is just an entryway? Okay, yeah. What a strange little world here. It's just filled with water, a waterway. You know, just back turned to this water. Just working in the dark. What is going on? That's so strange. And birds. Is this tied to Ezra and Julian's relationship, perhaps? Flora. Oh, she's from, she was from the Museum of Dwellings, I believe.
Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs.
You too. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone.
I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean to keep your eyes open. And don't look back.
Conway, my boy. Do I have a Flora voice? I'm gonna just quickly make sure. You know what? I do have one, but it's...
Sing? Hi. It works, I guess.
Oh, I just realized. Don't have a way to save it right now. Oh well.
Oh, I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark, underground places. I'm a romantic. I think I'm more classical myself. That sounds like the same thing to me. Okay, bye.
So I do have a voice for Flora from the Museum of Dwelling chapters when you first meet Ezra. I just disabled the static, but I don't have it saved to my... Oh, never mind, I do have it. I thought I didn't have it on my Elgato Stream Deck, but I was wrong. It's just on a very distant page from all my other stuff for some weird reason. Oh well. Let's talk to Dashiell. Dashiell?
Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise.
If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground.
That's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore. But there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack.
So you do still work here. On the tugboat, they weren't totally sure.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm here just about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too, but they were considered a nuisance.
What did you come here for? As a kid?
I usually came here with my grandmother. We took the train out to the town she lived in, or in the other direction back to my parents' home. In my memories, it was always cold. Winter, I guess. Sometimes now I walk along the tunnel, run my hand along these wet stone walls, and close my eyes, bringing footsteps in the drip, drip, drip of the grimy stalactites. Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks.
WEVP is this TV station, right? Kate says you're the only one who can tell me where it is.
Oh, maybe they should print some maps. It's not really supposed to be a secret, but it's not common knowledge either. That must be why they're always short-staffed. Listen, miss, if you are interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail shop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you.
Is it a plaque? Nice, still shine lights around. Yeah, kids just chilling there. Conway's still there. Okay, what's the plaque say?
Abel and Elise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise.
Eloise? That's a nice name, I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post.
You know, I can't read when I'm this tired.
They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up the scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and the travelers passing through this tunnel began to go prepare lovers. Poems and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Elise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set outside for their habitation, and that's where we left them.
Well, that's kind of sweet, actually. Oh, Poppy. Ah. What a strange place to work. Just seems lonely and isolated. But you know what? I suppose there are jobs in the world where you have to work these type of environments. Someone has to do it, I guess.
Just set it right over there by the left, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from?
And once again, I feel like we get to make a choice that might impact... I mean, this feels like a substantial narrative choice here. Let's go with the mystery one.
That's weird. There's no label on it.
Well, if we're lucky, it's chocolates from a secret admirer, and not snakes from an assassin. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office? Or the tugboat? I only ask because I hadn't seen you before. Was that you I heard shouting down the hall?
Yeah. I just met Dashell.
He's been working on that obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Or Dashell. You know, he's not really... he was let go a while back. A long while, actually. When they started restructuring. He was one of the first to go. But he talked them into letting him come every day and fiddle with some interminable project. He says it's to keep a long gap from growing his resume. But I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs to work, you know? Doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here. But there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Cara, Mary, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Mary finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a red collar. But he had it coming, and I heard she did just fine on her own. So they hired Daryl, Jana, and Sashko, which brought us up to 13. And that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing. And they all started phasing us out.
This is such a... This is totally a thing that happens in buyouts and stuff like that. It's happened to friends of mine. They work for a place for a long time, years. Then it gets sold. A company comes in, buys it, and then to save costs from buying a company entity or a corporate entity, which is expensive, they eliminate staff. They lay them off. They let them go. And I've heard stories that depending on legal jargons and all that stuff, if there's a... You can't quote me on this because it's like, I guess it's a case-by-case basis, and it probably depends on what state you're in or where you live. But I've just heard of stories where it's like, oh, you're not entitled to severance pay because of the circumstance of that you're with a new company technically because you were bought out. So you technically just started with this company. You have no history with it. Therefore, you can be let go without any reason really. And then that's just that. And hearing stories like that from people I know in my life, and it just it sucks, and it could happen at any time. I mean that in the sense of you could work somewhere and then suddenly, oh, we're getting bought out. Oh, well, see ya. And then, yep, layoffs or let go. Or in some instances, they might owe you severance pay, but will just reduce your hours and say, oh, yeah, you're on the schedule. You just don't have any hours this week. And they just keep doing that until you have no choice but to quit. And then you find a new job and you don't get your severance because you left on your own terms. So stuff like that.
Edna, Meg, Clara, and Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. They had Jana and Liz stop routing coals and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sashko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell, and it's hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended techniques to the switchboard in those days.
Huh. I guess he fixed it.
Sounded pretty good to me.
It's got the voltage too high. It'll burn out the relay.
So, where was I?
Extended switchboard technique.
It was all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row. With that upbeat dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible, it was very physical. So, after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30.
If it's automated, what do you do here?
It's not fully automated. There's still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. And, it really is all about touch. Your sound is a vibration. A touch is you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking or touching, even on the phone, that's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean. When I say it's all about touch here, when the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So, they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system stand here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you. They have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, a little indicator lights switch on, and I make connection.
Seems lonely. But it's a job, I guess. A job in the dark. Could be better.
You miss talking to callers?
I mean, I think it depends on if you like customer service or not.
There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time by every move in, recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate.
At least a month.
That's what I said. But this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? Life is cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators. What if I'm the cheap machine?
Well, you're not a machine. I'm gonna ask the why don't you quit? It's such an easy question to ask, but it's also a complicated one to answer. We all work jobs we don't like because it's what we know, right? Or what we gotta do, or sometimes it's just what's best for us, unfortunately, or most convenient, I mean. You know, depending on your circumstances, of course.
Why don't you just quit?
In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot. It doesn't sound very dignified, does it? The reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl. I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be here yet. I sound like that show. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the left. It's fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. It could be when you dial 0.
I hear static. Oh, man. What? What was that icon? It was like a skull. Oh, jeez. I don't know what that meant. The skull or the arrow, but... Oh, man. Conway. He's gone. I think he knew that was going to happen. He knew he was running out of time. Maybe that's why he was trying to be optimistic about it. Oh, jeez, that's depressing, honestly. Alright, here's my Will impression again.
She returned on the dinghy, alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work, the hardest work the dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She invited him to ride ways on the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottom skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of adult furniture. What's that even mean? I'm tired. Of furniture wrapped in blue tarp. 3 paddled, the 2 adults and the older child. The 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car, and then for the last few hours by boat. Hungry and tired, they didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling in wary silence. They asked her about her river journey. She
She said she was on the way to Salmonitis. They brought some food. The kids had picked the garden clean earlier in the day, so they'd been snacking on fresh bell peppers and tomatoes and some crackers, rationed carefully for the trip. They wished her well and paddled on towards West Virginia. Gosh, as a father, I just stuff like that line or this dialogue here, bringing your family and planning a trip like that, where it seems like you kind of gotta succeed, you gotta ration your food. That just unlocks a type of stress in me I don't know how to explain. I just imagine doing that with my son, just taking our car, abandoning it, then just packing food and then floating down a river in the dark. Gosh. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do though, right? And just thinking about that character Poppy, I hope she quits. I hope she finds a place that values her and she does better for herself, because it seems terrible just to be working alone in the dark. I mean, you got Dashell there, but it could be better. She met a flower salesman on a raft. They floated along in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole and a stream of small adjustments. She made small talk. He was alert and easygoing. His day was just beginning. He used to work at the balloon barn, but it closed down. When he wasn't selling flowers, he'd hang out by the highway and listen to the sounds the cars made, studied them carefully, and learned to reproduce them with his own voice. He was working on a record. He drifted away with the current, pushing his flowers along with the raft. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then, she knew what she had been craving. A moment of silence. A moment of silence. So I wonder if it'll be up to... There's a man in there? I guess it's up to Shannon to finish the delivery. But, you know, I really hope that Conway would see that journey through. Hello there. Headed up or down?
I'm just looking for the crew of the Mucky Mammoth.
Actually, I bet I have a. Let's see if I have anything.
Yes, ma'am. They stopped here every morning. I expect they're upstairs now, and Ida's got the coffee going. I could use a cup myself. It's cold down there. Well, head on upstairs, and she'll take care of you. I'll be along in a minute.
Okay. And I guess this might be as good as a spot as any to, I guess to call it a night. Yeah, we're hitting the 1 hour mark. Yeah. Looks like a nice little place. I guess he's maybe a fisherman. I like the way the light casts. Just sharp shapes. You can see, oh, Ezra and Johnny. This might also be a good screenshot. Hold on. I haven't decided what my process is going to be for this. I don't know. Do I like it? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. There we go. Oh, well, let's position Shannon. Yeah, staring off in the distance. Conway's gone. Yeah, this could work. We'll see how that works out. Okay, well, I think it's time for me to go to bed. So, wherever and whenever you are listening to this, well, I'm someone named Dean, or potentially someone who was someone named Dean, depending, because you never know what the future may bring. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but it's true, I guess. I mean, right now you're not even... Who knows what you're listening to right now? Whether it's just a fragment of me or just a random voice on the internet, or if I'll even be alive or dead. Man, am I going in a sad place or what? Okay, I'm going to stop this conversation. Let's reroute that. Hey, thank you for being here. Maybe I'm having a little bit of a crisis of faith, and I don't know. I think that's just part of any sort of process where you do something and then you realize, can I actually do it? I don't know. Should I do it? I'm not sure. But I don't think there's any harm in me doing this Let's Play thing and failing miserably and having subpar quality, if not less, and, you know, having disinterest because of my terrible voice mod voices and, you know, graphics card that can't keep up with most video games nowadays and all that, but I'm still having fun, and I think that counts for something. And I hope you're having fun too. And yeah, if you're still here, despite all that, despite all my tangents and shenanigans, I guess, I ramble about, well, I appreciate you, and I hope you're doing well. Well, I should turn in for the night, get ready for work tomorrow, and then it'll be the weekend. Might go blueberry picking with my kiddo. That might be nice. So, you have yourself, well, good day or evening or afternoon. And I guess I'll see you later. And yeah, I guess goodbyes are sometimes tricky. Sometimes they just happen abruptly and people disappear from your life and you never really get to say goodbye. They're just gone. Well, if we never talk again, I'm thankful you were here, even if just for a fraction of my life.